direct their IRAs. So if you've tuned into Entrust Arizona right before our show here with JP Dunna, that's what he does, and that's who we work with. So if you're listening to our show and you're like, I don't have the liquid cash, but I do have retirement funds that I'd really like to put to work for us, that's something we can talk to you about as well. And it's worked out well for Matt up in Washington and some of these other guys that are taking advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a no-brainer. I mean, we run into people all the time, and they might have their money in a money market account where they're making a whopping 1%, and
that's huge. Is that daily? Is that monthly? What is that?
Unfortunately, that's annually.
Annually?
Yeah, and
what?
Last time I checked, you pay taxes on that money too, so it's probably less than that.
Hey, last time you checked, what's inflation about? 3-4% a year?
Yeah, right in there. And and everybody talks about that it could be going up. So, the only reason why I can think of those people have their money sitting in that type of investment is because their stockbrokers telling them, hey, if you're going after high returns, it's obviously going to have high risk associated with the higher returns. That's just not the case. Obviously there's risk in everything you do, but in our line of work, there's not a direct correlation between the risk return, which opens the doors for a lot of our clients and gives them some pretty healthy returns. Right.
We get calls from radio show listeners pretty consistently, and they say, well, how often do these auctions go? I mean, is it once a month? Is it once a week? But the answer to the question is it's Monday through Friday, except for days like Labor Day.
Right. Yeah, any major holidays.
Any major holidays, then it's closed down. But, yeah, I mean, every single day during the week is what we do. I mean, so experts at the Trustee Auction bidding service. This is what we do every day. Check out the before and after pictures. If you're computer savvy, if you have a computer, a lot of our listeners don't even have computers, so that's something where we'd have to meet with you personally and kind of show you on our computers while we meet with you before we do the previewing with you and kind of giving you that ride along. But check out the website at ArizonaInvestmentLink.com. If you're at work right now, shut down the Facebook page and get on ArizonaInvestmentLink.com and check it out, Brandon.
And also, if you're scared to talk with Jason, for whatever reason, or you don't want to call in and talk live on the show, go to the website and click on the Contact Us tab. And there's a nice little box where you put your information in there, and we can communicate via email if that's more comfortable for you, or maybe you just have a simple question. We're pretty accessible when it comes to getting a hold of us, so you don't have to call in and be a radio show personality if you don't want to.
No, you don't have to, but if you do want to call in, 602-324-5366 is a call-in number. Again, it's 602-324-5366. Brandon, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, let's continue on here. So we go out, we preview the properties, we find out which ones work for us. We make any adjustments on our numbers, after seeing the property, whether it needs a little more work or maybe it doesn't need as much work. But then we get the home at auction, right?
Well, let's talk about just before that, getting it at auction. We send that list out after you comp the properties, Brandon. We have a fully broken down list. It's basically a turnkey list that goes out to each one of our clients that lists every single projected expense to where we come up with a maximum bid. So we know exactly what our maximum bid's going to be. We have the comp right there, max bid, and then the fees in between, including the rehab, which is really what we're known for.
Right, and you even take it a step further. After we go out and see the homes, you actually contact each client and say, here's the rundown on each property. Here's what we're thinking. Brandon feels really good about this one, or I feel really good about this one, and we give them our 2 cents on it, and that also helps them make a decision as well.
Exactly. So pick it up from there. So then we do pick up the property.
Well, and then within 24 hours of getting the home at auction, we'll have the locks changed, and we will have the construction crews out there starting rehab. The only time that won't happen is if, the house is occupied and we need to get somebody moved out of the house. But other than that, we'll get started right away. Rehab is 10 days or less on these homes, and that's, full fix-up from getting the carpets replaced to getting the backyard done to, getting the place looking spotless and ready to be put on the market. And it's all done behind the scenes for the client. And the best part about it is we'll charge a management fee on the job to get all the repairs done, but we're not going to raise the price of any of the repairs. So, for example, if the carpet costs $2,000, you're going to get an invoice for $2,000 from the carpet guy. That way you got a nice little file come tax time to present to your accountant. Uncle Sam's happy about that, and you don't have to worry about the IRS kicking in your door and raiding your house because you were off on your taxes. It's all documented.
That's right.
And
Do that.
And every penny is accounted for in the rehab, but it's all done within a 10-day period, not 2 months, not 3 weeks, not 4 weeks. Within 10 days, your home is active on the market, ready to be sold.
People can't believe when they see the before and after pictures that we can get that done in 10 days, Brandon.
Yeah,
they just can't believe it.
And it's a finely tuned machine. There's no wasted time or effort or money in the process.
Right. When we come back from our next break, we're going to speak to DeLotte Wynn in DeLotte's Corner, and then we're going to pick up where we left off, Brandon, and explain the difference between a good rehab, a lazy rehab, and the difference it makes when it goes on the retail market. So stay tuned for more Real Estate Power Hour.
KFNN brings you the latest with this information update. KFNN News Time is 1:30.
Arizona News Radio. Shots fired at Border Patrol agents near Nogales. The agents walking in a canyon north of the border when the shooting began.
While the agents were walking the canyon, 3 to 4 armed individuals began shooting at them. Luckily, the agents were not injured, but they were able to return fire.
Santa Cruz County Sheriff Tony Estrada saying it appears none of the armed men were hit by the return fire. They were likely working for drug or human smuggling cartels. 2 airmen from Luke Air Force Base rescued in Yavapai County after one of them became sick while hiking. Daniel Haynes apparently becoming ill after drinking water from some cow tanks in the wet beaver wilderness.
He apparently suffered an infection from parasites. There are some blood tests pending, though, to make sure there's nothing else wrong with Haynes.
Right to Evelyn with the sheriff's office. 7 people in custody in connection with a car chase along I-10 in Marana. DPS spotting a driver weaving in the I-10 westbound lanes at milepost 250. Police and DPS tried to stop him by placing spikes, but the driver stopped just before hitting him. Jeff Scott, Arizona News.
Hey, JR the Car Guy here, and I'm familiar with the right prices on the right auto parts and the right places to shop. And now, anyone can receive the same great discounts I do with a Napa Parts Pro Card. Get it at your local Napa Auto Parts store today. Enter a store, fill out a form, and start saving. No more excuses. Now fix that car. And remember, to find the best deals on any auto parts, visit ArizonaAutoPartsLocator.com.
811 is the number you should call before you begin any digging project, even small jobs like planting trees or shrubs. Whether you're a homeowner or a professional excavator, one call to 811 gets underground utility lines marked for free. Utility lines can be buried in yards, under streets, alleys, and vacant land. If you hit an underground utility line, you can harm yourself or those around you, disrupt service to an entire neighborhood, and potentially be responsible for fines and repair costs. Know what's below. Call 811 before you dig. Brought to you by Southwest Gas.
Arizona Investment Link is a proven real estate powerhouse specializing in foreclosure auction bidding services. There are several companies in the Valley that provide bidding services, but you'll be hard-pressed to find a company that offers a seamless investment process from start to finish. Arizona Investment Link provides each investor with a list of homes available at auction and a breakdown of all costs associated with buying that home through close of escrow. That's title status, back taxes, selling title fees, and whether or not you'll be bidding on a first lien position. AIL provides full rehab service, which is really what they are known for. Rehabbing a property is literally a full-time job for the do-it-yourself investor. Their rehabs take typically no more